What's up, folks? I'm Dave Underkoffler, editor-in-chief of Autolist.com, and we've got another one-week test drive. It's of this, the 2022 Lexus NX. It's been completely redesigned for the model year. Starts at about $40,000 for a very basic front-wheel drive, four-cylinder engine. Then you can get a turbocharged version, there's a hybrid version, and finally a plug-in hybrid version that can stick for almost $60,000. We're gonna spend a week with kind of the middle of the road. It's the 350h, so this is the hybrid version. Has 239 horsepower from an electric motor and from a gas engine. Starts at about $43,000, $44,000. We're going all out, fully loaded. This is a $54,000 version. Let's go spend a week with it and tell you what we think.
All right, before we put too many miles on this, let's just take a quick look at it, right? This is the NX 350h, so it has the luxury package with those 20-inch alloy wheels you see. Up front, there's a lot of grille going on, but it's better integrated than the previous generation of NX. And overall, this version it's less, angly? Is that a word? We're gonna make that a word. Fewer angles, more sophisticated on this version, more grown up, and we really like that. We've got the horizontal light bar across the back. It's very much a trend right now in the auto industry. Let's take a look inside. Electronic door handles, we'll get into those later. Here's a look inside. That's a 14-inch touchscreen, and that is not standard. Base models will have a 9.8-inch touchscreen, but generally the interior will look the same. This has perforated leather seats as part of our luxury package, and then moonroof. We'll show you the back seats. And bonus, we've got a car seat there. It's for our toddler, so you can see how much space you're working with. Not bad. It's a compact SUV, right? So you can't expect too much. Perfectly reasonable for the segment. Power tailgate. Good amount of cargo space in the back here. Those seats are split 60/40. They fold manually, and then because we have the luxury package on this tester, they also are power folding. So that's a nice feature, but you really don't need it. So there you have it. Well, let's go put some miles on it, guys. What do you say?
Now, one of the biggest changes to the NX, and actually to Lexus overall, is its approach to the infotainment system. As you can see, we've got this bright, brilliant touchscreen system, and that replaces what previously was a touch-sensitive pad on the center console that then controlled the screen. And if you've used that, and that's been around maybe the past 10 years, you knew that it was awful. It was either too sensitive or not sensitive enough. It didn't work. It wasn't a great interface. Lexus has thrown that out. And so now what you get is this brilliant screen. And this is the optional model. So this is 14 inches. Base models will come with, I think it's 9.8 inches, but the general layout is the same. And I have to hand it to Lexus. This is a well-executed system. You can see the map here. It's bright, it's crisp. You can pinch to zoom. The controls and the layout are fairly intuitive. The processing speed seems up to par for where Lexus and other luxury vehicles are today. It has wireless Apple CarPlay, you can see there, and wireless Android Auto. That's nice. There's also wireless charging down below. So there's no touchpad anymore. So you've got your cup holders, you've got the wireless charging for your phone, a little bit of storage down here, and then also a nice little feature that slides out of the way, a little storage for sunglasses or what have you. But yeah, overall, this whole setup is pretty nice. They've then integrated the climate control into the screen, and they have a nice mix. This is what I love, is that there's a nice mix of both physical controls and the touchscreen, right? Touchscreens can get overused by automakers, but here you've got, let me turn the fan speed on. So you can see the fan speed is touchscreen controlled, but then you've got the actual temperature is a physical knob. You've got a physical knob for the volume, and then the defrost features there. So that's a nice integration of both technology, but also just sort of straightforward practicality without getting too fancy. So yeah, the interior here is pretty nice.
All right, next up, driving impressions. Generally pretty good. This is the hybrid, it's the NX 350h. So it has 239 horsepower from an electric motor and a gas engine, but it's been really quiet, plenty of power in passing situations or on the freeway or on ramps or around town. So I don't think you need to step up to the highfalutin plug-in hybrid version with its 300 horsepower to get enough. No, this has got you covered in pretty much any situation. And it's doing all that while getting really good fuel economy. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. Otherwise, the rest of the driving experience is nice. Steering feels good. Brakes are good, they're regenerative because this is a hybrid, but they don't have that mushiness that sometimes hybrid systems will have. If we had to find something that we didn't love, it's that every now and then, whether it's sort of the ride quality or the suspension tuning or a little bit of the road noise that comes into the cabin, it feels a little subpar for a luxury vehicle. You have to remember, This is based on the Toyota RAV4. It's not quite like a Mercedes-Benz level of refinement where it just feels like you're on a tank on wheels. So just something to consider. Again, this is why it's always good to test drive. Take it out on the road, take it on a bumpy road, take it on a freeway. Just make sure it's meeting your expectations as far as what a luxury car should feel like. Generally though, we have no concerns and we would recommend it to anyone looking for a luxury crossover.
So earlier this week I mentioned that this car has electronic door handles, and you may have been wondering, what is that? Well, let me explain. It's a feature that Lexus calls digital latch, and it's standard on all 2022 NX models. Basically, it means that to get out of the car, you simply push this button and the door releases. Now, if for some reason you like the traditional experience of pulling a door handle to get out, Lexus has that covered too. Simply pull there and the door will open. Now, this is part of a safety system that's built into the entire car that uses the sensors as you're parking on the street to look for oncoming traffic, maybe cyclists or pedestrians. If it detects any of those, it will actually flash you warnings to make sure you don't open your door into them. If you ignore those warnings and go to open the door, it will then actually use the system to prevent you from opening the door. Now, that's a nice safety feature, but other people may be kind of freaked out a little bit by the idea of their car holding them in when they're just trying to get out. And Lexus understood that. So in the infotainment system, there's a setting that's very easy to find. It's one button. You turn that and it will turn off the system that keeps you in the car. So we've been using the car for about a week now, and this push button door handle really becomes intuitive. It's easy to learn. Most importantly, we never feel unsafe. We never feel like the car is holding us in. So if you are going to be test driving the NX, just be sure you pull over into a parking lot or the side of the road and just play with the door handles a few times just to make sure it's something you're comfortable with. All right, so the NX is a compact crossover, but what does that mean in terms of actual interior space? Well, I'm 6'1", and I've got the front seat adjusted to where I would have it if I were riding up there. So basically I'm sitting behind myself. And as you can see, I've got tons of room for my feet. My knees aren't even close to hitting the seat in front of me, and plenty of headroom. And again, this is the model with a panoramic sunroof and still plenty of headroom. So that's a pretty impressive experience for a compact crossover. So kudos to Lexus that way. The one nitpick we have is that this door opening is a little small, and for some reason it feels like the door doesn't open as wide as it should. So getting in and out is a little harder if you're an adult, but otherwise, once you're in, this is a very comfortable place to be. All right, that's it. Our 1 week test drive of the 2022 Lexus NX 350h. Fuel economy check, we got 33 miles per gallon over 330 miles of testing. That's pretty good. I have a bit of a lead foot, I'll admit, so that's really good actually. That was about 60% of that was on the freeway, 40% was around town. Very impressive. And remember that the power, 239 horsepower, is plenty for this vehicle. So you're getting power and fuel efficiency combined. That's a great mix. Overall, yeah, we've really liked this vehicle. If you are shopping for a luxury crossover, the NX should definitely be on your list. We might not pay the $54,000 for this fully loaded version. Maybe skip the luxury package. It has nice to have features, but they're not need to have. So skip that, keeps the price around $44,000 or $45,000. It's a great vehicle for that money. So for listings of the NX or anything else you're shopping for, be sure to check out autolist.com and be sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you can get alerts on all of our future reviews. We'll see you out there.